live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
All right. Shawn Marks.
Shawn Marks.
Basketball again, y'all.
Yes. Okay, so
this is funny. I'm sorry. I love this.
Yeah, me too. So the GM, Shawn Marks, is the GM for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
He got fed up.
I don't blame him.
He ran to the officials' room after the game. I want to say that was game 3?
No, 4. That was
game 4. Yeah, because they went up 3-1.
Yeah, 4.
So he ran to the locker room and he expressed his issue that he had with the way that the referees have been handling this series.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I feel him.
I do too. This ain't no who's really right, y'all.
Nah.
We all on this one. Like,
this
bro, we feel you. The stuff that went down in game 2.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised you held. Look, you did a good job, Shawn Marks, of holding your composure.
Yeah.
For that, even for game 2. Yeah, to game 2. Game 2, I would have been
right.
Where they at? I'm going right now.
Right.
So, yeah, because Joel Embiid,
And to not only elbow a player intentionally the way that he did, but to get on the mic stand at the end of the game during your presser and laugh about it and make light of it. Was just, and I'm a Joel Embiid fan.
Me too, but that really disappointed me. That disappointed me.
Yeah.
It did. Because at the end of the day, like, the reason there are rules and things like flagrant 1, 2 in play is because in general those types of fouls injure people.
Yeah.
So you're laughing about potentially injuring somebody when that person goes to work on his job, which is the same job you have every day. So that's like your coworker.
Right.
It could have been you.
Yeah.
And then your career could be over.
Yeah.
So it just was that part of it is not really what we're talking about, but it was really not, like you said, it wasn't a good look for him. But back to Shawn Marks, like, bruh, I feel you, because by the time that second one happened in the 4th game, it's like, really? This how we gonna do? And this goes back to what I talk about sometimes about the whole preferential treatment.
Right.
How is it that some people, like, you can get away with doing that, and they called it, they call it a flagrant 1?
They called it a flagrant 1.
Yeah. No, which was a flagrant 2. He should have been kicked out. He should have been kicked out of the game. And
Wait,
then
you talking about the bow or
the bow?
I don't think the bow got called a flagrant.
So that's
it
even
was a
worse.
call. Yeah.
See, even worse.
Yeah.
So and then the flagrant 1 that they did call in the 4th game. Probably wasn't. Should have just been a regular foul.
Right. It should have.
It should have been a regular foul. But either way, the fact that they allow these things to continue to happen and not make these calls was really where Shawn Marks' frustration was coming from.
Yeah.
Like, listen, because their expectation, we've had this conversation before, is that the referees are going to be fair.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
If you can't be fair, then get off the courts and let somebody else do their job.
Right.
If you got, because, and this is something we probably need to talk about at some point. I wonder sometimes if referees don't get enamored with certain players themselves. How do you get how hard is it not to, you know what I mean?
That's human nature, I feel like.
So when you are in that space, like, it's almost like a legal thing. Don't you recuse yourself when you're an attorney and something's, like, you get what I'm saying?
If it's a conflict of interest.
Yes. Yeah. So I feel like if you've just got some propensity towards one of these players, not that you mean to, not that it's something you can help, but just be honest enough to say, hey, I probably don't need to call this game because I really like this dude,
Right.
or I really, you know what I mean? Like, I really admire this dude's game so much, or
Right.
whatever. Like, that, I feel like maybe that's a conversation to have, because I feel like sometimes that's what's going on.
Yeah.
You feeling these people, you really, like it, otherwise it makes no sense that you wouldn't call it. Why didn't you call it?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Because, I mean, he is a superstar on the court.
So,
I mean, during this series, like, he's the guy.
He is the guy on the floor.
Yeah.
But it's just not, it's not fair. So,
not at all.
either way, I'm with Marks all the way.
Yeah.
He thought they were both flagrant 2 calls.
Both of them?
Mm-hmm. That's what he went in and said.
I don't know about
Y'all
that.
didn't call either one of those as flagrant 2s, and they both should have been flagrant 2 calls. But of course, what is it? What's the saying? There's this side, there's another side, and then there's the truth.
Yeah.
So, of course, your bias towards your team is gonna make you want the harsher penalty. So, I mean, I get it, but either way, I feel like his rant was legitimate. I would love to hear what the ref said back.
What their response was?
Yes, I would love to get some feedback on what they thought about the fact that a GM got that upset that they would come to your room, your sanctity, and just disrupt where you get to rest and say, yeah, y'all messed this all the way up.
Yeah.
And but the NBA came out, of course, and they fined him. And they suspended him for a game from game 5. He can't be there. And I thought that was like, really? That's so lame. Like, what? What is that doing? The man can watch it on TV. What is
exactly?
What did you do to him by saying don't come to the game now? It's not like he plays.
Right.
So what are you doing? What is this doing?
Absolutely not.
NBA, what was that?
Oh my gosh.
So either way, but I thought that was an interesting story. So we got one. I'm gonna just throw this in here. This one little basketball thing.
We got it.
Oh my gosh, y'all! So this was so funny. This is last basketball.
Yes.
But this was hilarious to me. So we were just talking about the Warriors.
Yes.
And so it's just interesting to me, athletes and their superstitions.
Yes.
And we're going to probably really delve into that because I'm going to do some research on other people and their superstitions. But
yes,
presently we're talking about the Warriors and Klay Thompson.
Yes.
So first two games, he was struggling. Like, just not falling, just not being Klay. Because Klay and Steph, they got that shot thing on lock.
Splash Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's funny you call them Splash Brothers. I'm sorry. Splash. So,
Splash.
That's funny.
Pun intended.
So, what he did, he said, I gotta do something different. Something's wrong, my mojo off, something.
To get out of this slump.
So, what he did to get out of his slump is he went and he jumped in the ocean.
In LA.
I said that.
Uh-huh.
He went and jumped in the ocean in LA. Yeah, not
in the Bay.
Not in the Bay. Yeah, he was in LA. And I didn't even know this part. You told me because you saw this part of the story. You didn't know what had happened. But you saw when Steph
Curry said he came back to the hotel and he had his flip flops. He said his shirt was wet. Water was dripping all off him, and he was looking at him like. He told me, I just went and jumped in the ocean.
Go figure. It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked. What, he had 32 points the next game?
He had 34 maybe.
30. Okay.
It was 30 something.
30.
Which is a lot of points.
Right. Either way, he snapped and went off the next game.
And it's so funny too because as I was watching that game, I was sitting talking to my boys. Dirk and Greg, and we were talking about like just the point guard. I mean, not point guards, but the shooting guards who are
Shooting
going to be free agents this
Yeah,
upcoming year.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, man, you know, I think Clay is probably the best, right? And their point was, well, Clay can't go get his own shot.
Huh?
And Clay
Oh,
spent that
what?
whole game getting his own shot.
What have
Not-
they been looking at?
I have no idea. I don't know what. And so, in fairness to them, because Clay doesn't necessarily always have to
I
go
was
get his
gonna
own
say
shot.
he doesn't have to, but that's not.
Exactly, but that
But
doesn't mean he can't do it.
When Steph ain't on the court,
Exactly.
come on, man. What?
Or when he just has the high hand, you see
Yeah.
him doing everything. You see him creating his own shot.
Yeah.
He drives to the rim.
Yeah.
He gets a bucket. He'll step back and shoot a fadeaway.
Yeah.
He can go get his own shot, and I had no idea. I'm like, yo, I understand that you usually see him coming off a screen and knocking down the three, but that's not the only part of his game.
No.
So,
Yeah.
But
I thought that
if y'all
was funny.
watching, you saw it. I look. Usually I would have started like talk trash and be like, oh, that's a set shot.
Right.
I let them watch that whole game.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of it, Dirk was like, nah. He went and
Who's
got
really
some buckets,
right? You got your one. Yay!
Yes.
So but no, I thought that was just funny that was how he jump started himself to go and jump in the ocean. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So Splash Brother.
Splash.
You went and splashed.
Yeah.
Got that all the way right. So that was pretty cool though. But yeah, that was just like an extra we just threw in because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We going live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line.